Hi, my name's Joe, and this is my Realise and Develop Fine Art Ideas sketchbook evaluation. So to start off this topic, we were given the theme Inside and Out, and our first task was to produce a double spread visual mind map of all the ideas and potential pathways we could go down that links in with the theme Inside and Out. So here I wrote down all of my different ideas that I had, along with some primary photos and some little illustrations that linked in with the theme. Next I moved on to doing some artist research, including images and why I thought that they linked in well with the theme. As I haven't decided a pathway to follow yet, I then took a load of primary photos of all sorts of different things that I thought worked well and linked in well with the theme Inside and Out. This included marbles, fruit cut in half, the inside of flowers, and sweets in jars. Then taking those photos that I did, I produced some small illustrations, mainly looking at different mediums and what I think could work well. We then moved on to do our first proposal, basically narrowing down what it is we're going to look at and what mediums we're going to use. So I really liked the glass marble kind of idea, so I took that and also looked at other objects that can be considered inside and out, which meant looking at light bulbs as well. I also looked at glasses and glass bottles and objects being distorted by glass. I then moved on to doing some experimental drawings, including blind contour and continuous line. Using these experimental drawings, I then did some quick developmental work using Photoshop. Moving on, I then looked mainly at perspective, taking a photo of pencils in glass, but from a bird's eye angle, so bird's eye view, so it's a weird angle, and then drawing out the image using a grid method and using two different mediums to colour it in. I quite liked the idea of having objects being distorted in glass, so I decided to take some more primary photos in bad lighting and then taking that and produce some more illustrations. I even went on to producing a small bottle painting using acrylic paints. From then on, we produced our second proposal, really narrowing down what it is we want to do and what mediums we want to look at from what we experimented with and what I thought worked best. I then kept on going down the marble theme with the glass and marbles being distorted through glass, and took some primary photos, as well as experimenting with different mediums such as acrylics, gouache and watercolour pencils. Taking the two ideas with the marbles being distorted with glass and small objects being distorted with glass, I then wrote down them and talked about how I could develop them and what mediums and inspiration I would use. I then went through my sketchbook with an examiner and talked through my ideas and how I got into that point, and together we came up with a image that I could potentially use as a final piece. We decided on marbles up close and being distorted through glass from afar. So here I took a lot more photos of marbles outside and inside glass, and to see like what different angles and what different shapes I can get out of it. I then did some last minute experimentation on Photoshop using different filters before I came up with the final image that I was going to use for my final piece. I produced my final piece on an A0 size canvas using acrylic paint, and I was really happy with the final outcome, although it did take me a long time. But I thought the long process it took me to get to that point was really interesting, and the different avenues and pathways I looked down to get to this final outcome, I thought it turned out really well. Thank you for watching.